Welcome to Aspire Global Education. I am Payal, and in this video we would help you understand how we conduct sample evaluations for speaking and writing module for IELTS. Speaking and writing modules test you on your creative skills, and their evaluations are based largely on the judgment and expectations of the examiner. And that is why there are many students who have good speaking and writing skill, and in spite of that they are not able to understand what went wrong in the exam and they could not get their desired band. So we provide detailed feedbacks and consistent evaluations and help our students improvise and nail the exam. We have multiple success stories. We have three modes of teaching: the classroom training, which is highly interactive and participative. We provide online classes where we use effective tools, and we have a face-to-face interaction between the candidate and the tutor who provides detailed feedback to the candidate. Then we have self-paced video tutorials where you could study at your own pace, and all these videos are in depth, as good as your classroom sessions. Now let's listen to the sample responses. Hello. Now let's try to understand how we do evaluations for the speaking module of IELTS. We would now take a sample response for a cue card, which is describe a surprise that you got recently, and you should cover who gave you the surprise and when, what was the surprise about, how did you feel about it. So now we would listen to a recording where the examiner would ask the question. This would be followed by a sample response by a student, and further ahead we would cover the reviews and the comments on the response and how we would evaluate the response. Please listen to the recording.
Uh, One surprise gift which I got is like my first birthday after my marriage. So that was the first one which was very surprising and great thing, I would say, because before that I have never did a cake cutting on my birthday. So that was the first day my husband surprised me with cake cutting. He decorated the room and he surprised me with the cake cutting. Then on that next day he took me to temple and we went out for the whole day. We went out and spent time. He took me to movie to my favorite temple and then night dinner. So it was a great surprise for me, which I never expected.
Thank you.
Now, as you heard, the cue card length was very, very short. The answer was as per what was needed. The candidate did describe a surprise that she got recently, but the length of the cue card was less than 1 minute, which is very short. You have to speak about 1.5 to 2 minutes. So I believe she should have, in fact, covered a couple of lines more on introducing the topic, that who gave the surprise when. Probably she could have described in a couple of lines more. Now, when she was actually describing the surprise, she could have used few more adjectives, few more lines. It went, very short, and even her feeling about it was also not explained in detail. Now there were, many grammatical errors. She said, in the beginning when she was answering the question, she said it was surprising. So now there's a difference between it was surprising and the surprise you got. You cannot just change the, tense and expect the same meaning to be there. She should speak, complete sentences. Many of her sentences were incomplete. She was talking in phrases. She was repeating information. For example, when she said, cake cutting, she repeated this, twice. And later, when she said she went out, she went to the temple, even that she repeated twice. And, towards the end, when she said that she went to the temple, nice dinner. Now, these two phrases are not, linked to each other. They are disconnected. So overall, I believe because of the length of the cue card, which was short, and there was less information in all the three parts of the cue card, and then at the same time, She made a lot of grammatical errors and she spoke incomplete sentences. So I believe she should get band 6 to 6.5. She could get band 6.5 if the examiner is not very strict, but it may slip down to band 6 depending on what are the expectations of the examiner. But to get a band 7 and more, she will have to practice, she will have to improve her speaking skills, and she will have to structure her cue card nicely. Thank you. Hello. Now let's understand how we go about the evaluations for the writing module in IELTS. Now we have a topic here. Some people believe that it's very important to make a large amount of money, while others are satisfied to earn a comfortable living. Discuss both views and give your own opinion. Give reasons for your answer and include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. So as you can see that my task is discuss. You have to discuss both the viewpoints of, two different set of people. As you can see, the introduction is well begun. The topic sentence is good. On the basis of coherence, the candidate would lose marks because she has used a linker while and she has not combined two sentences. All the more, the parallel structure in the sentence is not correct. Now the sentence is, while there are certain segment of people who give preference to comfortable living and giving priorities to work-life balance. So these 2 points are not well connected. This sentence is not a meaningful sentence. So on the basis of coherence, the candidate would lose marks in the introduction. But on the basis of the content, it is, pretty decent. It is suiting the sentence. And she has used different vocabulary in the topic sentence, which would give her marks on the basis, you know, of variety of vocabulary. Now let's, take a look at the, second paragraph, which is the first body paragraph. Again, as you look at the first paragraph, she should cover the first viewpoint, which is important to make a large amount of money. Now, in this, the candidate has covered about the, stiff competition at work, stop performing their jobs, it'll be at stake, high remuneration, packages. Most young people live a sedentary lifestyles. You have to take care of subject verb. You cannot use a with the plural subject. Now, this point is not explaining my argument very well. It looks like as if it is going off topic and it is not addressing the topic correctly. So you have to read your topic correctly to understand the topic development. Now moving ahead, the third paragraph, my linkers are correct. On the other hand, people who believe that earning a decent salary is sufficient to sustain a comfortable life mostly give preference to work-life balance. You need not repeat, segment of individuals again and again. Try to avoid repetition of vocabulary. Now the points are correct, they're just minor mistakes. You have to, proofread your essay before you submit so that if you're missing some pronouns, nouns, you're making some subject verb, punctuation errors, you can correct them in your proofreading. Okay, now there is a third body paragraph which is, probably giving the candidate's opinion, which is also, going well with the topic. Even the conclusion looks fine. So I believe she should get band 7 as she has understood the topic. She's only gone a little bit haywire in the body paragraph 1, but overall her writing skills are decent. So if she tries to not go off topic and cover the points relevant to the topic, and she takes care of the parallel structure and the connectivity between the sentences and the points, she would definitely get band 7 and above. At the same time, she should work on her complex sentence formation also. Okay, now let's look at the letter. The letter topic is, you have some repairs to do in your house, but this will cause some botheration to the tenants in the neighboring house. Write a letter to the landlord of the neighboring house, and you have to write about what repairs you're going to do, how it might affect the tenants, and how you will do your bit to minimize the inconvenience. So the letter is well begun. Your in fact, your stock phrase is also correct. Her first paragraph is correct. In the second paragraph, she's used a couple of words, incorrectly, like eliminating the center wall. Instead of eliminating, I can use a simple word removing, because eliminating will not be used in this context. Similarly, in the next paragraph, she's written, verbally spoken. Verbally and spoken means the same. You need not use two words. In the last line, again, she's made the same mistake. She used a linker, but she's not, connected it, appropriately. So the minor, mistakes which have to be taken care of. Now, in the last line of the letter, hope I have explained the situation, looks like an incomplete sentence. So I believe overall she needs to work on her connectivity. Her sign off phrase, yours sincerely, is fine, and rest everything looks fine. So I believe overall in her writing she should work on her connectivity, her parallel structure. She should, proofread her writing so that she can, correct her, grammatical and, coherence related errors. And also she should read the topic correctly so that she only covers the relevant points. She can get a band 7, and if she, practices and takes care of the feedback, I'm sure she can get 7.5 as well. So that's about, all about the evaluation that we've done on this, essay and letter. I hope it was useful. Thank you. Now we just heard a sample response by our own candidate, Miss Kiran George, and when she started with us, she was at band 6 or 6.5 for the speaking module, and her writing was close to band 7. With one-to-one sessions and detailed feedback and persistent efforts, she improved a lot, and in her first attempt, she could get listening band 9, reading band 8.5, writing band 7.5, and speaking band 7. So we help all our students to improve a lot, work on their weak areas, and get their dream scores. And we try to serve you through any of these three modes of teaching, classroom training, which is highly interactive, online classes where you have face-to-face interaction between the candidate and the tutor, and self-paced video tutorials which are as effective as the classroom sessions, and all the videos are in depth. You could, contact us at 9591722199, or you could email us at aspireglobaleducation@gmail.com, and we would feel happy to serve you and to see that you get your desired scores. We would be thrilled to carve more success stories in future. Thank you.